Hey everyone, and welcome back to Ambitious Nature. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to do the 3D text within DaVinci Resolve. So with that, just make sure you subscribe, hit the like if you like the video, and we'll jump right in. Today we have just think about it as far as any image goes. You can use a picture, you can use a video, or just anything in particular. I'm just going to use a picture just because I don't have a video today to show you guys. But we want to add in our text. You can't really do anything as far as your edit page, so we do have to dive into Fusion, but I promise you it's really easy. You want to go over to your make sure your media pool is selected, right click inside of here, hit the new Fusion composition, and I'll just type in I don't know, text test. Oh, I didn't really get to show you guys, but you can change your frame rate to match your timeline or whatever footage that you're recording, and you can also change your duration. For this, I'm just leaving it at 5 seconds. That's typically the standard anyways for text, but that's just extra info if you need it. What we would do is now drag over this test or whatever you named your 3D file, and we'll dive into Fusion. Before that though, if you notice it is black, but don't worry about it, it will be, everything will start to make sense as we get along the video. So go into your Fusion tab, make sure that you select your clips folder, which is up here at the top, and you'll see your different images right here. This is my standard image, the JPEG that I dropped in, and of course this is the actual textile file. So over here, let's make sure I'll move this. Let's select arrange tools, let's do to grid, so now it should be more locked. Let's do shift space. It will pull up this menu if you have the shift and space bar, and I'll type in text. And this is your 3D text. And if you notice, if I try to drag it over to see what I'm doing, it will not be available. So if I type over here, there you go. There's a graph. Let's type in test. Type in test. If you notice, it shows over here, but I cannot connect it to my media page. It won't show on this other dial, but it is honestly no big deal. What you want to do is hit shift and space again, and you'll type in, I don't know why it keeps going to the other screen, but we're typing render. It'll show up the render 3D or 3RN, same thing. You can hit your render, and now with this connected to the render, it basically creates it. It changes to a format that's able to be read by your media out, basically. If I hit this over to the yellow, now it pops up. I can see my text, I can see everything I'm doing. If I want to add in spaces or change colors, things of that nature, it all shows up in here. With the 3D text, it allows you to do what's called extrusion. And with this, it gives you more depth. And you can't really see it as well because everything's all in white, but you can tell that it's doing so at this top of the graph over here on the left side of the screen. If you want to add in more depth to your image and it be more visible, you want to go over to shading at the top. Make sure you do have your 3D selected and hit shading. Over here, you'll see where it says use one material. Uncheck this, and this will allow you to change the colors. So for me, I don't know, I'll just use red. That way you guys can see what's happening. It adds a little bit of contrast. But now you can tell that my text is thrown out. So if I go back to text over here with extrusion, I can see just how much is really bringing it out. So I'll drop it down to where it looks more not too in your face. And that's pretty much it as far as the text 3D goes. Now you do have a lot of different elements you can change over, like your color, your rotation, your different pivots. You change your y-axis, you can rotate the letters to give it more depth. You can change your z-axis to kind of spin it on the side a little bit. So you get basically a good feel as far as what is capable. I believe you can add an image into it. I haven't quite done that yet, just because I haven't had the needs to do so. You could do much easier on the edit page than Fusion. To be honest with you, when it comes down to that, I think I have a video on that already, or if not, I can make one. It's really quick. But you do basically get like a different layouts and formats that you won't be able to find on your typical editing page. And that's just one example of it. So I'll hit this shading, and I'll switch it back to white. I have a big screen, so if it looks like my head is whipping all over the place, I promise you, it's just a massive screen. I'll show you guys something that I like to do, or I have been doing lately on my videos, just to kind of make it stand out a little bit. And it's not hard at all, but this is just another quick tip. So I'll take this off of here, and I'll select my render 3D. Let's do background. Let's go. You can either have you can hit this button over here on the side where it allows you to drink. Sorry, I can't even talk right now. You can hit this button where it allows you to bring in your background, and this will show it right here. Or you can hit the shift space and type in your background as well too. Either way, but it's just quick and easy to click the thing right here. And you want to bring in a merge node, which is right here. Sorry, that's transform. That is not merge. This is merge. I promise I know what I'm doing. Let's drag over your clip. Make sure that whatever you're importing is staying on the yellow line, and if you're having something in the foreground, then you want to have it on green, so that's what the background's coming in handy. If you notice, when I drag this over here to the media out, it does not show anything, and this made me mad when I had done it before, but if you don't touch Fusion for a while, after a while you forget. But I promise it's not hard to do. Just make sure that you select your left click your merge one, go over here to where it says operator, and you can do in. Now your background is taking over your text. What that means is anytime, make sure you have your background selected, but anytime you select your background and you change the color of it, it will change your whole text. Basically, it's coming in between that file. You can select different things, like they have held out, which is where it crops out the image. So this just kind of shows you some cool different features that they have. They have a top, they have XOR, conjoin. There's so many different things that you can drag into here. Honestly, it's too much to really describe in such a short span of time. This is of course under, which I guess if you want to have it behind the background, but for me, for this purpose, I'll use in. But you kind of get the picture. You can really do a lot of cool, unique effects that people don't really, you won't really find. Or if you were using, for instance, Adobe, you have to go into After Effects and take a whole course. I promise you, this is 10 times easier. But you have your text over here. If you want to do something creative, you can also do more depth in terms of your background. So with background, you have solid color, you have horizontal, which comes across the side. You have vertical, which comes at the top, so it fades down. You have your four corners, which allows for four colors, and you have your gradient. Gradient is really, really neat because if you want to, let's say, make sure you select your arrow on here. Click this little tiny arrow. It does actually have a function. Let's hit the yellow, and you'll see how it kind of fades over. I can move this any side of it to drag in more yellow or to kind of take it away, but you kind of get the point. It gives you a little bit more of a gradient. If you go into four colors, let's go to, four corner. Correction, I'll hit let's do red, actually purple. Let me put my background over here so I can see what I'm doing. There we go. All I did was just drag over the background file. Let's go to orange, and let's hit the bottom right at blue. So now on my media out, that's exactly what it looks like as far as my drag it back over there. That's what media out looks as far as the text goes. If I want to kind of spice this up even further, I can add in my shift space. Let's go into Aperture Diffusion, add my effect, and now if you notice, it basically takes over my image and it starts to really bring out some of the brighter colors within that image. You could change over your just the aperture size if you want to make it more defined or not. You change the blade curvature if you want to make it sharper, or if you want it to blend and just look more like a glow, which they have a glow feature, so I don't know why you would do that. But you kind of get the point. You can change a lot of different factors over here. If I go back into my page, so if you notice, it'll be all black. The reason being is when I add in this aperture effect, it's not limited to just the word or textile by itself. You have to actually hit alpha limits effect, and that will now allow it to show as an overlay. And this is one thing that drove me mad. If you don't know what you're doing, it really can cause a pain. For instance, if you have your text too large, let me change my transform and bring this down. So if my text is too large, now as I move over, if you notice, it won't really have too much of a glow effect when I'm, if I want to highlight certain images, just because it's locked into this box that you see me moving around. And I'll show you exactly what that means. If I go down to my Fusion page again, and let's make my text a lot smaller. Let's go back to text over here. Let's shrink it down a bit. And let's raise this up. If I go into here, now as I move over the images, it looks like it's casting a red glow over the usher sign. It looks like it's casting a red glow over the people that's in the frame. Like if you make your text small enough and your glow is small enough, it will kind of add and blend better to your environment, if that makes sense. So this is just a quick tutorial. You can do so much more within the 3D text, but honestly, I'd rather keep this video as small as possible. So with that, I will be ending this, but I appreciate you guys for sticking around. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Also, let me know what you guys would like to see next on the future videos. And of course, let me know your thoughts and questions. If you run into any issues as far as this, hit me down in the comments and I will help you try to troubleshoot it. And with that, I will see you guys later. Peace out.